Are you living with purpose, passion, and making a difference in your life's journey? Well, you've come to the right place. The X Factors to Success podcast radio show.
Great day to you all, and welcome to the X Factors to Success podcast radio show. I am your host, Ruggiero Fratarcangeli. That's right, easy to say it, right? Also known as the G-Man. And at the X Factors to Success, as a reminder, we have the 5 major pillars: faith, family and friends, fitness, finance, and fun. And this guest today, we have a special guest. Yes, she's dear, good friend as well. And she's going to inspire us with her work and really encourage us with some of the great breakthroughs. Well, she's a breakthrough coach, a master facilitator of R.I.M, also known as regenerating images in memory, a powerful mind-body technique that helps to swiftly identify and remove emotional blocks as well as self-sabotaging beliefs that hold us back from experiencing a healthy, happy, and vibrant life. She has helped hundreds of clients tap into their emotional operating system, find those hidden barriers to happiness, and resolve them many times in a single session with her. If you're chronically feeling physical pain, always finding yourself in bad circumstances, struggling to achieve your dreams, suffer from depression or anxiety, or in any way are held back, you can resolve the core issues and find freedom like you've never known. She not only facilitates sessions with clients, but also teaches clients how to use regenerating images in memory of their own for self-healing. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome my guest, your guest, the beautiful, wonderful Rebecca MacLean. Rebecca, welcome to our show.
Well, thank you so much. I'm so honored to be part of your show. It's awesome. Thank you.
Well, thank you for taking your awesome time with us here on the show here, Rebecca. So, we've got a great show, and people are excited to hear about your work, and I'm excited to hear about more of your continuing growth and success of your work. And so, once again, welcome to the show. Rebecca, first off, we need to tell the audience, what does R.I.M stand for? I know I did an introduction. Hopefully that's not too all far-fetched, but the R.I.M and the philosophy behind regenerating images in memory. So can you just tell us what that's all about?
Absolutely. Well, R.I.M stands for Regenerating Images in Memory, like you said, and it was developed by Dr. Deb Sandela, and she's a psychotherapist for many, many years, and she developed this technique, and it's off the premise that we are whole, that we are complete beings, that we're not broken, that we have the power to heal ourselves, and you don't need to rely on anything outside of you, that you have this emotional operating system that is working on your behalf 24/7, and it is working to heal. That's what our emotional bodies do, is they heal, just like our physical bodies heal. Okay. So when we get a cut in our skin, our bodies automatically bleed. They automatically create platelets and scabs in an effort for us to heal. And this is the same kind of thing that our emotional operating system does, is it is constantly working to heal as well. And this is something that people can tap into either through facilitated sessions with a certified facilitator of regenerating images in memory, or they can learn to do it themselves, because it is a natural organic process, and it is so powerful and fascinating. I just cannot say enough about it. It's been life-changing.
You mentioned about organic emotional operating system. That's a mouthful there, Rebecca. You know,
that is.
Can you elaborate a little bit more on the organic type of operating system, as you mentioned?
Yes. So your emotional operating system is like an operating system on your computer. Like, it just helps all the programs to run. And it helps us process these events that happen in our lives. And when we process something, when we have an event happen to us, typically we process it there on the spot, or sometimes in our dreams, or over time. We assimilate that learning that has happened through that event. And Dr. Joe Dispenza says that a memory wisdom is just a memory without the emotional charge.
Ooh.
And so what your emotional operating system does is when you experience something, it processes that memory so that you have the wisdom from that memory and the emotions from it move through. But when we experience something traumatic, and by traumatic, I mean anything that we are incapable at the time of processing. So if we're really young and we're lost in the grocery store, for example, that's an event that you can't process at 3 years old, right? You don't have the capability to process that. So your emotional operating system will with its emotion and the memory itself, and it'll move it into your body for processing later. And so that's what we tap into using regenerating images and memory, is some of those things get in your way. Some of those things, when they process or they're stuck in your body, then they kind of reroute you like a GPS that says that there's a problem. It will reroute you around something that it doesn't feel like you're capable of handling.
Okay. So as I understand, our life experiences, especially at a young age, up to the age of 7, 8 years old, Rebecca, would you say these events in our life are imprinted in our subconscious and into our operating system? Is that what you're saying?
Well, actually, all of our events, everything that happens to us at any age is imprinted in our bodies. Our bodies know and remember everything that's happened. But the younger ones are the ones that we experience that can get stuck because we don't have the capability to process them. Wow. So those are the ones that are a lot of times very influential in our lives, whether we feel certain feelings around a certain person or whatever those memories are that we were unable to process. Those are the ones that kind of influence us over a longer period of time and really change the trajectory of our lives because they've been there for so long and because we don't remember a lot of times that situation or that event that happened.
Okay.
We just think that's the way I am, or that's the way it's always been, or that's the way I handle things. Instead of knowing that that's something that could be changed, we just accept it as, well, that's the way it is.
Okay. So, Rebecca, you would say that our childhood experiences and our adult experiences are compounding of all the experiences which shape our lives and our conclusions and how we perceive things as far as our reality.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And many, many, many times completely subconsciously.
Right.
Because they're so ingrained in us that we don't even realize that that's a filter that's there that we're looking through. We don't realize that that's something that we're, it's kind of like that Claritin commercial. You're looking through and it looks kind of fuzzy and you don't realize it looks fuzzy until you peel the thing off, or like you get glasses and you're like, whoa, I had no idea.
I know.
And that's why I call myself a breakthrough coach, is because it does feel incredible. Like there's massive breakthroughs in a very short period of time, because it is just like putting on glasses after you haven't, been able to see for a long time. And all of a sudden things just become instantly clear. They become obvious. And you're not being diverted in your life.
You mentioned that you are master certified with Dr. Sandela. Can you tell us more about her? And I'll put this also in the show notes for our audience also to check into her work and, of course, your work as well. Can you tell us more about Dr. Deb? I know I have met her also in one of the Breakthrough Through Success events with Jack Canfield, which both of us have a shared mentor in the Success Principles. Yeah. So tell us more about Dr. Deb.
So Dr. Deborah Sandela, like I said, has been a psychotherapist for many, many years. I think she was a psychotherapist for about 23 years or so. And throughout her practice, she developed this process for helping people move through things. And she has a book out, and it's called Goodbye, Hurt, and Pain. And her book is fabulous and really teaches people how to do this process, how to tap into their emotional operating system and find these blocks and work through them and really dissolve those issues, and for those issues to become wisdom instead of an emotional memory. But she has, she trains people all over the country and in other countries.
Such as yourself, right? Well. Such as yourself.
Yeah, such as me. And there's quite a few different levels to her training. So she has an essentials level for people that already have a psychotherapy or counseling type business that want to add this technique adjunctively to their program. And then she also has a certification level, which takes about 6 months. And that includes mentoring, which is something that I do for students, is help mentor them through the certification process. There's a master's level training, which is where I am currently. And then there's a trainer level, and those trainers are teach the essentials of the beginning level. So, and there's not very many people out there. There's less than 100 people that have gone through her program at any level. But it is growing, and it is taking off like wildfire, mostly because the proof is in the pudding.
Oh, that's right.
It is so powerful. It is incredible.
So, Rebecca, I know that you've been through this past few weeks in the 10, 11, 12-day retreat with her and the certification folks as well. You partook in the assistance in that. Is that understand?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So I did it. So the certification level does 6 days of training, and then about 5 months of mentoring, and then another 6 days of training. So I spent 6 days with the certification students, and then I had master's level training after that. That was butted right up against it.
Awesome.
So that's why
So the question is this: as I'm thinking and writing my little notes here, how is regenerating images of memory different than talk therapy? Because again, there's many conflicts or cross-pollination of two different types. Because that's just new. You said there's over nearly maybe 100 certified trainers out there, or different levels, and you're one of them out there. How can you tell us about the talk therapy and the difference?
Absolutely. A lot of talk therapy is based on the person just speaking out their experience. This is something that I'm having trouble moving through. I'm feeling this way. And it's a very left brain analytical process. So our analytical mind works on problem solving and solutions. And talk therapy works fabulously for a lot of people, where they just speak out loud what they're having trouble with and so forth, and then the therapist will try to distinguish where maybe the problems are, ask questions, have them do exercises or whatever to try to overcome those emotions or those feelings that are coming up. In regenerating images and memory, this really taps into the subconscious level, our right creative brain. So this is where we are able to go in and we experience, you can create in regenerating images and memory. It's a little bit like a meditation where your eyes are closed. You're fully aware, if for any of your listeners who do meditation.
I do meditation, Rebecca.
Yes.
I've been disciplining myself now at least 2 to 3 times a week now. So I'm getting better there, okay?
Good for you.
Yeah, thank you.
Good for you, yeah. So it's a little bit like that where you sit with your eyes closed most of the time. It doesn't have to be. And you're almost hyper aware of what's going on. It's not like a hypnosis or something where you are unaware and you're in the unconscious. This is where you're almost hyper aware of your body and your emotions and what's going on with your emotional operating system. And then you tap into these you can create a huge amount of safety because it uses a lot of imagination. So we create virtual resources, and so that the client feels very, very safe to be able to move into memories, be able to speak to anybody that they want to speak to be able to move through anything that has been a block for them. So they tap into those blocks, and then they are able to get perspective on those blocks, first person, real time. So they're able to move in and speak to that person, whether, that is in a memory or that is current time, but they're able to purge all of that emotion that was stuck in their bodies from when they were unable to process it. All of that emotion and energy is able to move through and able to express. And that is where a lot of the healing happens. Getting perspective in this process is another part of the healing. Understanding, getting a lot of empathy and understanding different perspectives. And then being able to integrate new positive feelings in the body. So where there was emotion and energy that was not helping stuck in the body before, then we can integrate new positive feelings in the body that allows that helps heal.
Okay. So you're saying, I'm sorry, you're replacing the negative or that experience with a positive feeling, emotional, and then that will transform into a new behavior, new reality for that particular behavior. Right?
Yeah, and the beauty part about it is that there's no big effort. After this kind of healing happens with, working through an old memory or this energy that's stuck in the body, whenever that is, when that's healed, it feels effortless. We're so used to having these walls build up and say, oh, that wall is there and I have to climb over it. Every time that I want to go do this thing, I have to climb over it. A little bit like I have to go exercise and you have to like drag yourself to the gym, right? And then there's those people that say, I love going to the gym, and it seems crazy, right? Like, how could you love going to the gym? But it's because we, the people that are experiencing a block, have this wall that they constantly have to climb over. And you can be great at climbing over walls. You can be terrific at it. But the fact is that each time you have to get the gumption to climb over this wall and overcome this block that you have. What this does is it doesn't help you become better at jumping a wall. It dissolves the wall.
Dissolve the wall. Wow.
So when the wall is not there, then it's so effortless. And people just walk through that space. And it doesn't feel like you're trying really hard. Oh, I overcame that. Oh, look at me. Yeah. I worked really hard. It doesn't feel like that at all. And it's amazing to people.
So, Rebecca, I know that some months back you spent over an hour plus in a R.I.M session with me, and I wanted to share with the audience that I got to tell you, folks, Rebecca took me back to where I was, let's say, 4 or 5 years old. And a situation, me, little boy with a tuxedo and on the stage. And I'll make the story short. My dad did not like me to be on that stage infringing on the musicians. And he came out there and scolded me and took me out of that. And while I was playing the tambourine. And that experience, Rebecca, you broke me through and how I changed. You helped me change that experience from a negative experience to a positive experience. And it has helped me also break free through some of my personal fear of that stage or doing things. And I got to tell you, Rebecca, I still remember right now in that moment of an hour or so, you walked me through that and replacing with positive things and great things. And every time I look back to that, I see my dad, may he rest in peace, always praising me because I'm on that stage and providing a great experience. So up until about 6-7 months ago, I was thinking, again, I'm not worthy, but there was a little area of that wall, as you indicated, to break through. So you helped me break through that wall. So I want to thank you for that here with the audience.
You're so welcome. Could I share a little bit more about your experience? Would you mind?
No, go right ahead, Rebecca.
Okay. Well, I just wanted to point out, so at the beginning of that session, you had said that your shoulder hurt.
Correct.
that your shoulder was hurting you. And so through this process, we moved into that. That's where that energy was stored, was in your shoulder. Mm-hmm. And you had said that it was, I think, your right shoulder. Is that correct?
Correct.
Yeah.
Good memory, by the way. Good memory.
So you had said that there was this energy or this soreness that was in your right shoulder. And as we moved into it, this memory came up. And you had also expressed before we started the session that there was some anxiety for you about getting up on stage when you would get up and do your talks. You knew you had full confidence in what you were talking about. You had full confidence in your capability, but there was some block there that you weren't sure about what that was. And this is a perfect example of, you don't need to know what it is. You don't have to have something that you're working on. You just say, I just feel like there's something that's holding me back. And then as we moved through the session and you were able to bring up this memory and you were able to heal it by going in and having a conversation as that young boy with your father, understanding his perspective of, hey, there was some musicians on stage. You really didn't belong on stage. That was their stage, right? So from a parent's perspective, it was pretty clear. They're like, well, he was trying to be like, come on, dude, like you don't belong there. Like,
get out of there now,
stage, right? And in that memory, he took you by the shoulder and he put his hand on his shoulder and kind of forcibly, forcibly, but he moved you as parents do, right? Come on. And then as you had that conversation with him and gained understanding, and you were able to communicate with him what you were doing now, and you were able to get perspective from his point of view about what he feels about you now and what he felt about that situation. And that was where the true healing happened, that he is proud of you and he was so honored about all the things that you're doing with you and your family and your work. And that was where the real healing happened. And then after the session, it was so beautiful because I asked you how your shoulder felt.
And
you said
that there was no pain there. I feel light and comfortable and relieved. It was like, wow.
Yeah.
That was deep. I mean, it really, really showed how effective it was. Just that one deep session, Rebecca. So folks out there listening to the show, you have to contact Rebecca because she is just a wonderful, wonderful woman, and her work is just extraordinary and really will take you to a next level if you're experiencing those circumstances like I did as well. So Rebecca, thank you very much for sharing my story to the audience as well.
Thank you for allowing me to. It really is just a wonderful example of the power of this work. And it wasn't even a situation where you were in big distress over it. It's not like something that you would have called a therapist about or anything. No. It was just something that we happened to be on the phone and having a conversation, and you mentioned it. And we just moved into a little short session. And then it was amazing. And there was an amazing amount of healing that happened. And the beauty of it is that all of that healing was within you. That was your emotional operating system that was calling your attention to your shoulder, to this memory that had been trapped in your body for so many years, that it was ready to be worked through. And it was ready to release you from that wall. And now that wall is dissolved, you are, look at you running a podcast show and you're up on stage and speaking to people.
Yes.
That feeling isn't there anymore.
Give me more. Bring it on, Rebecca. Rebecca, thank you. I want to move on, Rebecca. And again, I guess I'm very excited about this session here. Rebecca, you have mentioned that you teach people how to do these techniques for themselves. Can you tell us more about that, if you don't mind?
Yes, absolutely. So I've created a program that helps people to learn all of these techniques. Like I said, there's lots of trainings that Dr. Sandela provides and some of other trainers provide that help you learn dozens of techniques on how to do this for other people. But the piece that was missing was that she wrote a book, this Goodbye Hurt and Pain book, and it teaches people how to do it themselves. So my program is based on her book and helps people learn how to do these things themselves. People that, like in your example, pain in your shoulder, you're having difficulty, getting on stage, there's the nervousness and anxiety that's there, and you want to know what that is. And so it teaches you how to tap into your emotional operating system, how to access and understand language, how to communicate with it and work through those memories of those positive new feelings that are in your body so that you can move through life with ease.
Awesome. Thank you.
It really only takes a couple weeks to learn the process itself.
Okay.
And it's a lot of it is on my website, and it's
tell us the website.
So the website is MacLEEN Life Coaching, and it's spelled MacLEAN, lifecoaching.com. And the program is called Release Yesterday, Embrace Today. And it really is incredibly impactful for people to be able to, at any time, tap in, understand, and resolve and move through anything, any of those barriers, any of those walls that they want to dissolve.
Okay. And just for folks out there, I know we're getting a little bit of a poor connection out there right now, but we'll get it all wrapped up when we get this hosting. So, Rebecca, great insight. I know I'm learning so much more about this R.I.M here, and I hope that the audience out there is picking up some good ideas and where we can contact Rebecca at the MacLeanLifeCoaching.com, and we'll put everything on the show notes as well. Rebecca, I want to switch gears a bit, if you don't mind. We have a few questions before we wrap up our session today. You exude passion and passion overall of life. And what motivates you that's pushing you right now to do this work here?
Oh, my gosh. Every time I work, whether it is mentoring certification level students, whether it is working individually with clients, whether it is helping people learn how to do this process themselves, I am just so blown away by each individual's person capability to heal themselves. It is a remarkable, remarkable thing to watch. To, like in your case, not to bring that up again, but within an hour, to overcome a block that had been stopping you from really living at your fullest and doing what you were meant to do. And it blows me away. At every session, I walk out of my office and just say, whoa. Drop the mic. They did so much work.
Hold on.
Amazing.
Let me drop the mic.
It is so remarkable to me how much capability each individual person has to be able to heal themselves, and how quickly it happens. I'm passionate about it, but it continually drives me. Every time I do it, it drives me further. And I just, in terms of what I am driven by, the idea that, I have 3 children that are older teenagers, young adults, and to be able to see them utilize these techniques and be able to help themselves and be able to move through I have one daughter in college and a son in high school, and to see them be able to manage their, tap in and know what's going on and not hold on to things that could, take them off their direction that they want to go.
Off course, back on course. Right.
Exactly. So it's, for me, I'm just so passionate about teaching people how to do this themselves. I am more than happy and delighted and to help people and facilitate sessions, but my real passion lies in teaching people how to do it themselves, because you absolutely can, and it's quick and it's easy and it's painless and it's natural. It's what you're designed to do.
Rebecca, I love the feedback here. So I hope folks out there can resonate from this here, wherever you are right now. If you're listening while driving, you're listening while you're sitting down having a cup of coffee in the morning show here. But got to take action here. So, Rebecca, I'm sure you've gone through some trials and tribulations. And what are some mistakes, or I hate to use the mistakes or failures, that you made during this journey to get to where you are right now?
Absolutely. I've had so many wonderful learnings that have happened. And I think first and foremost is to move from my intellectual mind into my feeling heart. And that difference is so, I love to learn. I am a lifelong learner. I will study things. I'll read books. I'll go online and take classes, and I love learning. But when I can take that learning and move it into my heart, that was a big move for me. And there was some stumbling blocks for me. I know one of your very favorite principles is E plus R equals O.
It is.
Event plus your reaction to it equals the outcome. And I was not taking responsibility for that, for my reaction to things. Obviously, the first one is taking 100% accountability, and that's another one. I feel like they just sort of dovetail together. But
always.
But I was not taking responsibility for everything that was happening in my life. And one big awareness, huge, that was super, super hard for me to swallow and took a while for me to really integrate was Dr. Sandela one time had told me, she said, Rebecca, if something's repeating in your life, you're creating it.
Huh. Wow.
And I went, nuh-uh. and
light bulb.
Yeah. And I was like, that's not possible. I can't. No, I'm not creating this. And then I realized how many of my own walls, of my own blocks, of my own it changes in my trajectory that was really was creating things in my life. I was not bringing things down into my heart. I was not taking absolutely full responsibility. And those two things, I think, were just big light bulbs. Light bulb, like
transformational, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Intellectual versus transformational is probably the biggest lesson and learning that I moved through in the last year.
So, what are you most grateful for in life today, Rebecca?
Oh my gosh. There's so many things.
Give us one. One.
My family, first and foremost, is my husband.
We say in Italian, la famiglia.
La famiglia. Yes. And it's an X factor to success.
That's right.
Too. But they have been throughout this journey, and every journey have been just rock solid behind me and supporting me and loving me through when I was struggling, when I was not bringing things into my heart, when I was very reactive, when I was not taking responsibility. They were there and they were just loving on me and loving me through it. I don't think anything in my life would really be possible without their support and love. They've been amazing.
Awesome. Yeah. And same with me also. I have 4 children of my own, and they're the purpose of why I'm living right now and making a difference and sharing the experiences and teachings now. And again, Rebecca, you mentioned about E plus R equals O and taking 100% responsibility. For the audience out there, both of us have studied the Success Principles by Jack Canfield, and I think we both share the mentorship of his teachings. You know, other than Jack Canfield and the principles, what book besides Dr. Deb's book would you recommend to the audience? Or what inspired you? Which book inspired you other than the principles and Dr. Deb's book?
Oh my gosh, I read so many books that it's hard to narrow them down. But
if you would choose one to your best friend, who would you?
I would probably most transformationally and most to get out of your head
Okay.
and into your heart. I think Eckhart Tolle books are all amazing. They're all amazing. There's dozens of them, and you can get them on audiobooks, you can get them regular books,
Mm-hmm.
and it's all a lot of the same message. It's just packaged differently for different but those for me have been amazing. I liked now I'm gonna forget all the authors' names.
Happens to me too. Happens to me too. Sometimes like, there's so many authors out there. Like what? Which one now? Go
right.
ahead. So go ahead.
So there's a book called Body Keeps the Score.
Ooh,
The Body Keeps the Score, and that is by Bessel van der Kolk, I think. He wrote that one, and
okay.
That is another one that is just
okay.
Amazing.
You hear that, audience? The Body Keeps the Score. I'm going to put all these recommendations on our show notes, Rebecca. Okay, for the.
It is a great one.
Okay.
It really talks about this whole idea of how our bodies remember all of the events that we've moved through, and how that energy sticks in our bodies until we can move through it and release it and gain the wisdom from each of those. So that one's fascinating too.
Awesome.
Those are my two faves.
So Rebecca, lots of things going on with you. You're now a trainer, you're a coach, and many things with R.I.M. You're reading a lot of books. You're inspiring people. You're traveling around the country now. You're doing a talk every month or so, and many more to come. And what would you say, 2018? What major goal or major breakthrough that you want to achieve for 2018 to inspire and to empower people to make that transformational change through R.I.M?
Oh my gosh. Well, a big goal that I have, that I had that's have come forth is to set up this online program.
Awesome.
That was a giant one for me because it just offers so much opportunity to reach out and allow people. I just thought it was so fitting that it's a self-driven program about how to do self-healing. Like, so I love that. So that was a big one. And being able to get on stage and talk to people about this kind of work, because there's so many directions that it can go, and it can help so many people, from people that are, I work with a lot of coaches who have their own clientele. So like health and wellness coaches, people that are helping people with weight loss, and they're giving them all the intellectual knowledge of all the things they need to do. And yet there are these big walls that these people have to climb over and overcome all the time, and they don't even really know what they are. And so that's what I help them do that. And so being able to express to people, being on shows like this, being on stage, being able to do talks, is to just really make people aware you can heal yourself.
Again,
you are fully capable.
One of the X factors is fitness, right? And it just physical fitness, but also spiritual fitness. So again, these are the X factors that we're bringing in, folks. Ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to Rebecca MacLean, and she's bringing some serious inputs of opening our eyes and ears and our emotions to really make a shift in our life's journey. So, Rebecca, great feedback with that, and we wish you awesome success, continued success to inspire and to make changes in the world. Rebecca, what legacy or imprint to the world will you leave behind, let's say 100 years from now, and why?
Oh my gosh, 100 years from now, I hope that it's not my imprint. I hope it's just the imprint of humanity in general, that we are no longer living in fear, that we are able to fully embrace ourselves and to live in harmony. And if this can be a small part of that, I will be delighted. I think it's everybody's purpose, whether you are working in an office or you are running a podcast show or you're up on stage talking or you are, whatever your job is, if you're a parent, I think our job is to heal each other.
That's our purpose. And we had conversation in the past, Rebecca, about we all have inside of us the light, the lantern, right? I know that you and I spoke about it many times over. We all can open our hearts, which will open up the lantern of lights. We have to serve our purpose, serve our family, serve our bodies, serve our spiritual bodies, and a fellow human being. And again, I know we go through trials and tribulations in today's world, in all facets. I know we could talk forever on these subjects, but our purpose is to really shed our light, shed our once we know ourselves, once we really open our hearts, we can really make a difference. And again, one of my taglines is live with purpose, passion, and make a difference. We all have a responsibility. We have a ability to respond to our purpose. So, Rebecca, I know that you have mentioned to me that you have a special offer for the listeners that you want to make an announcement if you want.
Yes. Well, as I'm launching this online program, I would be more than delighted to welcome your listeners onto this program, and I will give a discount to anyone, and I'll in your show notes, I'll give you a discount code.
So I'll mention that refer back to the X Factors to Success podcast show. Yeah. Okay.
Yes. So I'll give an X Factors discount for listeners to come onto this program, so that because I know that you are making a difference in the world, and anybody who's listening to this show is making a difference in this world, because they're taking their time, reaching within, and really changing who they are, which, like you were saying about that lantern, when you have that light, everybody has that light it is you. That light is you. You can't, it's not something you get to. It's not something that you create. It is you. You have that light. And removing those barriers is what allows the light to shine through. And so you don't have to develop your light. You just need to let it shine. Just remove the stuff that keeps you from letting it shine. So yeah, I would love to see some X Factors to Success listeners.
Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Open your hearts. So Rebecca, as we conclude this show, again, I want to thank you very much for taking time with your family and your schedule. Any last comments or inspired encouragements before we close and say farewell until next time?
I am just so honored to be on this show. Thank you so much, Ruggiero, for inviting me on, and for your listeners for listening. It is my honor to share this information with everybody, and to really inspire people to heal themselves, knowing that they can, knowing that it's intuitive and that it is natural for them to heal themselves. But yeah, it's been a pleasure. Thank you so very much.
You're welcome. Again, it was a pleasure to have locked in a date so we can really take time and spend this quality time together. So Rebecca, can you tell the audience where can we find you as far as out there in the internet and the ethernet, whatever we can find you? So share with us where we can find you once again.
Absolutely. The very easiest way to find me is on my website, which is MacLEEN Life Coaching. Again, it's spelled MacLEAN, lifecoaching.com. And you can also find me on Facebook, MacLEEN Life Coaching on Facebook. And so find me there, and feel free to ask questions, and I'd be happy to answer any questions there.
Super, Rebecca. Well, we thank you very much. So again, ladies and gentlemen, you could reach her at MacLeanLifeCoaching.com and on Facebook, and give her a shout out. Check her out. Just mention that you heard her on the X Factors to Success podcast show, and really got motivated, inspired, and I'm telling you, won't go wrong. I'm going to just reinforce the fact that that session is going to always be on my mind, how that little breakthrough in that shoulder just feels great, As a reminder, thank you so much. So, Ladies and gentlemen, you've been listening to the podcast, X Factors to Success, with the wonderful Rebecca MacLean. And she shared with us her insight, her journey in the in R.I.M, and what R.I.M can do for you, and how you could empower yourself by self-teaching this as well. Reach out to her, look for her on the internet, on the website, and give her some props. So rate, review her as well, and don't forget to mention X Factors to Success. She'll give you a discount for any special session with her. Right, Rebecca?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So, Rebecca, we want to say once again, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart for being on my show. You are, again, one of my first 10 podcasts here in X Factors. These are special guests here. So, folks, as you can see, we always are making an effort to bring special guests onto our show. And whatever journey, again, faith, family and friends, fitness, finance, and fun, we bring them here. And next week, we have another special guest as well. So all these guests we're bringing here inspired me, but I also want to help you inspire. That's my purpose, to live with purpose, passion, and make a difference. So check us out also on the xfactors2success.com. Again, that's the number 2. Check us out on Facebook, on Instagram, and on Twitter. Give us a rating. Share this podcast with your family and friends. And don't forget, you've been listening to the X Factors to Success. So once again, Rebecca, arrivederci, as we say in Italian. Ciao, ciao. We send you hugs, virtual hugs to you, to the wonderful state of Colorado where you are, and look forward to a future invitation for you, Rebecca. Let me give the audience a sneak preview before we actually close it. That I'm working on a conference, and I'm going to extend an invitation to you to be on this conference, and I think you're going to bring lots of value. Okay.
Yay!
And,
thank you.
Don't have a set date yet for this X Factors Leadership Conference, but definitely you're definitely perfect to come to the audience and share your story, your journey, and your work. So once again, thank you very much, and have a great day, you all. Check us out again. Don't forget, every Monday here at the X Factors to Success, and also we'll be announcing shortly, adding a second show of the week on Fantastic Friday. So please check us out every Monday on iTunes, Podbean, Stitcher, Google Play Music, and YouTube, and many more. So thank you very much. Bless you all, and have an awesome week. And don't forget, live with purpose, passion, and make a difference. Ciao, ciao.